The Big Issue. Breaking down the issues that matter. The Big Issue. Breaking down the issues that matter.
Hello everyone, welcome to Leadership Podcast. It's another edition of The Big Issue. And of course, as usual, I'm your regular host. So Jagba is the name. And with me here in the studio is our in-house analyst. We have Henry Tohemba, a very vibrant analyst in the education sector. And for the big issue of the day is the mass exodus of teachers from Nigeria. There is growing apprehension in the country over impending mass migration of teachers to Europe as the United Kingdom is set to begin employment of qualified Nigerian teachers next year, February. At the moment, Nigeria is grappling with the migration of medical personnel, doctors, nurses away from the country. And just as the issue is still being addressed to ensure that the medical personnel don't leave the country, we are now having this same situation facing us in the education sector. And of course, the teachers certified and assessed as qualified by the Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria, TROCN, will from February 1, 2003 be exempted from sitting for qualifying courses with the Teaching Regulation Agency, TROA, and thereby be given qualified teaching status, QTS, in England. Well, reports reaching us here has it that most teachers in the country have started processing their papers. And we have influx of them at the British Embassy, where they are struggling to see their security visa ahead of their movement out of the country to grab a teaching job presented for them on a platter of gold by the United Kingdom government. This is coming against the backdrop of recent effort by the federal government to better the lot of the teaching profession. And of course, that is what Henry is actually going to explain to us here. Why the movement? At the time when the Buhari administration has promised that he will do anything within his power to ensure that teachers are more comfortable. Okay, Henry, I don't know, it's like the teachers, they don't even have faith in the Nigerian government because as soon as they hear about PPU from the United Kingdom, most of them are running from pillar to post now to secure this to leave the country.
Okay, thank you for that. Beginning with what you have just said, I think first of all, the migration of Nigerian people from to foreign countries, not only Europe, they are migrating to other continents too. It portends a great danger to the education sector in Nigeria. And let me say that it can even affect other countries in Nigeria. But the truth of the matter is, since the introduction of the Teachers and Registration Council, that is, we are talking about the professional qualification examination in 2018, there has been a lot of increase in this particular trend we are talking about. Because unlike before the introduction of this particular exam, before a Nigerian will get access to teach in Europe, you must have to apply for and write a qualifying examination in that particular country. But since the TRCN mandated that each and every teacher in the country must register and write that exam, obtain that right license before he's qualified to teach, Nigerians now can move to Europe without partaking in any form of examination. And we are not talking about Europe or UK only, because just of recent, the registrar of TRCN just a few weeks ago said that Canada, that this year, 2022 alone, Nigerians who have migrated to Canada were up about 260. So we have Nigerians who are migrating to United Arab, not just Europe. So I think this is, apart from the incentive or welfare package that federal government has said that they're going to uh, make sure that teachers get so that they will stay in the country. I don't think it's something that we will be able to hold them down with. But most of the packages that President Muhammadu Buhari had introduced them, they are yet to implement them apart from the teachers in retirement age and length of service, which has been improved to 65 years and 40 years. Apart from that all the welfare packages, including the salary allowances, the housing allowances, which have been mentioned, or which Buhari said that he's going to make sure that teachers benefit, none of that has been implemented. So what I want to say here is that the reason why most of these teachers are moving to Europe is because of the greener pasture, going by the situation in the country where teachers cannot even sustain based on what they receive from the federal government. So I think for Nigeria to make sure that this he put a stop to this, I think they should try to implement what they wanted today in 2015 when he took over. They should try to implement some of these packages.
Well, thank you very much, Henry. But what we're seeing here, it shows that the British government is actually trying to take advantage of the situation in Nigeria, where it has come to realize that the Nigerian government does not value their teachers, and as such, they don't make the environment in Nigeria conducive for them to do their work as teachers, coupled with the poor welfare, and of course, the British government being very, very good in business enterprises. They have thought that they are trying to minimize costs, engage cheap labor, because the Nigerian who live here and go to UK and get half of what the teacher in UK collects will even see it as if he has gotten an equivalent of a job like an NMPC job. And I think that is why they actually rush, because the British government does not expect that a Nigerian teacher will be employed in the UK and be given the kind of amount they pay teachers in that country. I think they would have infiltrated them and say, come, bring these people out. Instead of looking for teachers, then bring them down there. Pay them half of what you pay your teachers. They will do their work passionately because they are not being. That shows that the education sector has remained backward. And then you heard the Minister of Education saying that the Buhari administration has done all it can do in terms of the welfare of the teachers. At the end of the day, don't you think this mass exodus of teachers, because from what we are seeing, it might not just be about primary and secondary school. Even those in the university, they just came back from strike now, by the way.
Yeah, I agree
And
with
it
you.
amounts to
I
brain
agree
drain.
with you on that because those in the higher institution even started moving out in what they call as Japa, the syndrome that I've been using before. The trend has been going on before this issue of
The Japa,
the Japa syndrome has been going on, where you see during the last year you see so many lecturers during the ASU strike. But I've seen so many lecturers who posted their visas when traveling abroad. So it's something that is going to affect in the tertiary institution. They're talking about the UK as in taking advantage of cheap labor or Nigerian teachers are cheap. I think I will also agree with you on that because if you look at the list, what we have is not only Nigeria. We also have other countries like Ghana. We also have India, Singapore, all these less advantaged countries, and the countries that UK is focusing attention now. And just like the same issue we are having in Nigeria, we have the same issue in Ghana, South Africa, and other less privileged African countries where the welfare of teachers is not good enough. So it's like a kind of UK taking advantage of some of these countries to take away the list that they have. That's it, just like what you have said before, we're going to have a serious effect, unlike what you said talking about the medical sector. It has been happening. It has not been happening in the education sector, but now we're having the issue where teachers are moving out of the country. If you look at the record, TRCN says it has registered about 2.3 million Nigerian teachers. That is those who are qualified to be in the education sector. And what we have on that chart is that about 350, that is in February or January, will be moving to UK. So while you are trying to train your teachers here to be professional, they are not staying in the country. So I think it's something that federal government will need to do something. I think the issue of TRC and professional exam came as a blessing. They now have a negative impact in the country because teachers who gain this experience, I have a family relative who just processes visa and will be moving to Kenya very soon. So it's not only UK. So many of them are just looking for any small opportunity. And if you compare what they are going to pay him in Kenya, no matter how small it is up to at least 700,000. And what he's gaining here in Nigeria, highest in the private school is 150k. So I think anybody who gets that opportunity will want to do that. So the only way to stop this trend is for federal government to bust or at least implement some of the packages, the welfare packages that you have mentioned.
Thank you very much, Henry. Well, we will just quickly take a short break. And of course, as we do so, we hope that our viewers will actually contribute constructively to the conversation on the big issue, especially as it borders on the future of our children, the leaders of tomorrow. If the doctors keep migrating in search of greener pasture and taking jobs being offered them by the UK, then what happens to the education sector in Nigeria? Well, as we go for this short break, we just hope that your comments will start trickling in. Of course, what should the federal government do to address this situation and stop this ugly development? It's really in its head. Don't go offline. We'll be back in a moment.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
The Big Issue. Breaking down the issues that matter.
Welcome back. We're still on the big issue in Leadership Podcast. And of course, the big issue of the day is concerns over impending mass exodus of teachers in Nigeria. Well, as we were talking, most Nigerians of the view that the federal government must do something. But Henry, I recall that the 2023 budget, the budget for education was checked up. And we would have expected that why it was checked up was because the federal government is planning to address some of these things, burden of teachers' welfare allowances, not just the tertiary institution, even the primary and secondary school teachers. Are you saying that from the 2023 budget, it does not seem as if the federal government is actually ready to address the plight of teachers in the country?
Well, the truth of the matter is Nigerians are tired of waiting because We have been hearing this thing since our administration took over for over 8 years, and the tenure will soon be expiring by next year. So all the over 90% of the promises concerning teachers were failed. They have failed to implement them. So you don't expect these teachers to keep on waiting on what they don't know when it's going to happen. Because as soon as a new administration will come to power, I think they are going to have like Tinubu or any one of them to be or anything that can emerge as the president of Nigeria in 2023. They have their own manifestos. So I think they are going to stick to what they have on ground. They are most likely they are not going to take off from what they had before. So I think it's something that Nigerians are they seems to be tired. And this we are not even talking about the teaching profession. Now. I think every single person given opportunity in this country will move out of this country. So, but unfortunately, it's affecting something that already Nigeria is lacking the number of teachers, and they feel that we have are moving out of the country. So, this is a very serious issue that I think an urgent action needs to be taken to stop this at all.
And so, a part of that urgent action was not really reflected in the 2023 budget because from what we learned, the budget for education was one of the budgets that was checked out. And that alone was interpreted to mean that teachers in the country will soon smile. And at the end of the day, the development here shows that nobody is even ready to smile, and you see that they are tired of waiting. And how do we describe this? That at the end of the day, teachers in Nigeria have lost faith in its government, in their government. And how do you think the federal government can address the situation to restore that confidence? At this point in time, what do you think can be done to address this issue of teachers wanting to leave the country to go work outside the country in search of greener pasture?
Okay, I think first of all, I talked about the issue of the implementation before, because I could remember Buhari saying that time that apart from other welfare packages, I cannot remember all of them for now, but one of it that he mentioned was that teachers will be given houses, that is a housing scheme. And they made mention of, for instance, if you have like 4 kids, all of them will be the education of the free of charge. I think if we implement that policy right now, none of these people moving out of the country will be willing to do that. And aside from that, they should live up to their own responsibility because when this issue came up, the minister of the Teachers and Administration Council, which is the teaching in the profession in the country, was Josiah Ajibwe. He said that he was trying to paint a different picture that the Nigerian teachers are moving outside the country because of the high demand on them. Because he was trying to condemn the people who seem to criticize the foreign standard of education in the country. His argument was that it was based on the standards set here that the Nigerian teachers are attracting attention from countries outside. But the issue, I don't believe in what he was trying to say because so many of these teachers moving outside the country, just like we have issue of a recent case of a student who graduated with a class in Ahmadu Bello University and went to one UK university and had a first class. So I think that Nigerian people are people who are serious, who are, no matter what condition we are into, people are willing to do anything that's given to them. So the issue is not the issue of saying that the education standard here is okay. I think federal government should go beyond that. They should implement some of these policies. We have been hearing about this thing for too long now. We talk about the minimum wage. How many states have implemented? So I think it's something that federal government need to not keep assuring them that we are going to add in the 2023 budget, but they should do something within the few months that the APC administration have.
Well, Henry, and at the end of the day, let's look at the tertiary institutions. Recently, the ASU called off the strike, and they did that based on the fact that there was an agreement with the federal government that come to the classroom and start implementing some of those things you have been asking of that has actually caused your grievances up to the extent of you going on strike. What is the situation now with ASU? Even the no work, no pay policy that had been an issue became another issue where the federal government stood its ground that it will not pay them. Where is the salary for those months they were paid during the striking period? And at the end, they were trying to like threatening another strike. What has happened there so far? Does it there's any improvement showing that the federal government is actually trying to live up to its thing with the elections?
Well, I don't think there's any improvement because the last time we heard in February, I think they stopped paying them. They paid them half salary in February. And in November, federal government paid them full. So what ASU is making case is for the 8 months they have been on strike, in which the federal government is applying the work no pay policy. They are not going to receive that salary. I think there's the recent function I had with the ASU just a few days ago. I remember the president saying that the issue is still the leadership is still debating on the issue, and that means the issue of strike. We cannot still rule out the issue of strike, even the punishment 300% to take over the administration of this country. He urged the federal government to pay the lecturer salary of 8 months. They have been making cases that have been protesting around across the country, but right now most of the schools are rounding up their activities for the year. So the school also don't have anything apart from trying to some of them some of like Federal University of Agriculture, but there are not many universities that are already writing their exams. Some will give break once they resume from January, they will commence their exams. So right now there is no development on that particular issue because the federal government is still insisting on this kind of not paying the lecturers. And from all indication, I think even ASU is the vice chancellor of University of Abuja, Professor Nara, I think it's today he was talking at a function when he emphasized the need of eliminating strike from tertiary institution totally. But according to what he was saying, the issue of strike shouldn't be the tool that actually continue to use to pursue some of their demand. And I agree with that because they have been on strike for 8 months. They have wasted the student time, they have wasted their own time, and most of them have passed through a lot. At the end, the federal government refused to pay them. So I think they should just let the issue of strike go and focus on even if the federal government is coming down, I think just like you have said, they have included most of their demand in 2023 budget. So if we have a considerate president that will take over by next year, I think even the issue of 10 months salary that they have been paying them, the person may decide to clear all the debt so that we move on from there.
Well, that's why there's a growing concern that Nigerian teachers are abandoning the country in search of greener pasture. And of course, that will actually leave the country bereft. Qualified teachers in schools. The registrar of TRCN, Professor Josiah Ajiboye, does not see it like that. For him, it is even a good development that teachers have been taken for Nigeria. He said it shows the high quality of Nigerian teachers. That is what he said. He said, according to him, when we started these innovations in the teaching profession, we stated that our qualifying examination would be of global standards, and the UK has confirmed that with this policy. It is not only there, but even from Canada, the United States, and many other countries, we get inquiries on a daily basis. That means whatever is even happening between the UK or in the plans by the UK, I think they should be working in league with Nigeria too, because if the TROCN registrar will say this kind of a thing, and it speaks of daily inquiry. So what it means is that these countries will always come, inquire and find out what is happening. And then at the end of the day, the the Nigerian government, or let me just say the TROCN, comes out and begin to assure them that, oh yes, we have this close qualified number. This is a very good development that even the authorities too will be encouraging the teachers to migrate under the guise that it shows that Nigerian teachers are highly professional. What do you think about
So
it?
now I don't see that as a good development because the TRECM boss here has repeatedly said that apart from UK and Canada, so many other African countries has been sending mails. He just confirmed that he got a mail last week where apart from UK, other countries, some of them are not requesting for teachers, but some of them are asking, they want to repeat what TRC has been doing because it's like they are bringing the Nigerian teachers on board. Those of them, unlike before, they do not know what used to happen in the Nigerian system. Now the Nigerian system, teachers are like being presented to the outside world through the TRCM. So to him, it seems to be a good development. While we commend them for the work for what they are doing. I think they should rethink their steps of allowing people to take what they have already trained for outside. If you take all the teachers that you have trained, who are you going to leave behind to take care of your own education sector? So I think it shouldn't be a welcome development, because we need to keep training these people and keep them here so that we promote and set the standard of our own education. He has said that on different occasions, where he said even Ghana even approached Nigeria to train them on how to establish something similar like TRSCM. That is a welcome development, but it shouldn't be in a way that after training your own, these people will come and take them outside your country. And already, I think this should be a wake up call, because so many stakeholders are kicking against this. I remember last week, Nigerian Union of Teachers also kicked against this same policy, that TRSCM should deploy another method to make sure that these people who are being trained are being kept in the country, so that Nigeria can promote or create its own level of education.
Well, what is happening has actually gone to put a lie to the saying that the reward for teachers is in heaven. But from the rush to other countries like the United Kingdom, that is said to employ Nigerian teachers en masse, it has shown that it is only in Nigeria that the reward of a teacher is in heaven. In other countries, it's not necessarily so. And that explains why Nigerian teachers are willing to migrate massively to that country, because they believe that the environment there is conducive. Their welfare will be well taken care of. But at the end of the day, it all borders on what most Nigerians have described as failure of the Nigerian government to put its act together, not just in the education sector, even in the medical, the health sector, where medical practitioners, doctors, nurses have been migrating from the country to other countries in search of greener pasture. Well, we just hope that the federal government will do something to stop this. And if it does not, very soon Nigeria will suffer a drought of teachers. And the country will now become like the needle that undertakes tailoring for all and sundry, but remain naked itself. Because most of our teachers will be leaving the country to work outside, while in Nigeria we will be looking for qualified teachers to teach our children. This might lead to the emergence of more quack teachers, the way we have them littered everywhere in the country. Well, that is the much we can take for today's edition of The Big Issue. Thank you for keeping tab with us. And of course, I'll thank our in-house analyst Henry for addressing the big issue. Join us same time tomorrow for another edition of this program. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.